Welcome guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is just me. Justin is out for work, so I'm gonna do the daily video. It's a good one. I think there's a lot of positive news, some negative news, but I'll say mostly positive news, especially with the names we're being linked with at the moment. Because so far up to yesterday evening, there were really some concrete links for basically who's coming in, who's not coming in, who's leaving, all those things. So yeah, before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, so you can be part of the giveaway, as you can see, and we will go into it. So yesterday evening, basically, the news broke. So in the live, me and Julian were talking about Gravenberch. And the moment we ended the live, the news came out. Again, it's from Pedula. I'm not his biggest fan. He has some good connections with some clubs. Juve is not one of them. Then again, he got the Iatara news spot on way before anyone else. So maybe, I don't know, he has a Raiola connection. I don't know. Or everyone is just guessing at the moment. But we were linked with Gravenberch even before. Last summer, even I remember 3 summers ago or 2 summers ago. But yeah, so the news is basically Juve have expressed their appreciation for Gravenberch. Juve like him a lot for his physical structure, personality, and technical skills. He said English clubs and Barcelona also like Gravenberch, but Raiola can be an ally. He's certainly a profile to keep an eye on. Now, we all knew Netfed and Raiola met this week, and we talked about it in the live. We were linked with every Raiola client there possibly is. So we were getting linked with everyone. I mean, we all know that's lazy journalism. The only name that has been linked with us in the past is Gravenberch and Calafiori. Calafiori, he's not coming in. He's not improving us. He's not even improving Roma, excuse me. He's not coming in and improve us. Like, he's not even playing. So that's, I don't know what that is. I hope that's just a really lazy rumor. But Gravenberch, as many will know if you watch the channel, I like him. I know people are saying he's not playing well this season. He isn't playing badly. He played well before, that's for sure. But that's okay. Like, he's 19. His potential is big. Like, he has a high ceiling. He has shown that last season, the season before even. Again, this season isn't bad. If anyone is saying he is having a bad season, I won't agree. He's having a less of a more, how do you want to say, impactful season compared to last season, but that's okay. Like, he's 19. That will happen. I'm fine with that. Why this is so, how do you want to say it, encouraging? Because we were linked with Witzel. Zakaria, which I also like. We'll talk about that. We will record the podcast today, and we will talk about Zakaria and Gravenberch even more in depth. But from Witzel, like in January, you're not getting top quality players. And if you can get Gravenberch, which I think is very unlikely that Ajax are going to sell them in January unless you're going to overpay. But if somehow you can get Gravenberch in January, that would be great. And I know people say he's 19, Allegri's not going to play him, all those things, which may be true, but if he's going to let go of Arthur, Ramsey maybe, and with basically one eye on the summer where Rabiot, McKennie, and Bianconeri are all on the market, like, I don't think he has a choice. Like, that's the way the club is going. Like, going into the show in this daily video, you will see the club is going into a certain direction, and that direction is basically young players. Now, I won't be shocked if we end up with Witzel, but it will be, I don't say disappointed. It will be disappointed, but it will also be a lack of improvement, of direction, and basically a confirmation that we're going nowhere. Like, we're just saying stale. We're just going to say stale. That's if you go for Witzel. And again, I like Zakaria. I also like Zakaria. I mean, I like Gravenberch. Like, he's my first choice. Like, of course, I prefer Tchouaméni, but we have no chance of getting Tchouaméni. Like, we cannot pay it. That's clear. We cannot compete with Chelsea, Bayern, PSG, City, name the teams who are after him. We cannot compete with them. So these are the players we are going for. I'm fine with that. I understand in what position the club is, but this is the moment where we need to be smart and we don't need to waste money. That's what I said. Like, if you're gonna waste money for players you're not gonna really build on, they're not gonna make a big of a difference moving forward, then it's just wasting money. Then I prefer to spend a bit more for Gravenberch than you should do. But that's just my opinion. Then we move on to Zakaria and Koune. So the news is Zakaria and Koune remain among the favorites to reinforce the midfield, with Kamara and Villar among the alternatives. Gravenberch's name emerged during the meeting between Netflix and Raiola. I think it's just, this is a kind of a lazy journalism in my opinion. Like Zakaria, like Koune, I don't see how he's among the favorites. Gladbach paid a lot of money for him. Not a lot, but he got a new deal. Like, he was free, I think, last summer. Now you need to pay a lot of money for him. This name's a bit coming out of nowhere. When you can get Zakaria on the free, you're not going to pay money for Koune. I will take Zakaria. We will talk about it. Like, he can, on a cheap, that's a smart deal, in my opinion. Again, we all want Pogba. Just name the big names. We are not getting the big names because we don't have the money. We don't have the pool for it at the moment. These are the players we are going for. And I prefer Zakaria over Witsel. So that's what I'm saying. Kamara, he's not signing a new deal with Marseille, so that's an option. I'm not gonna lie, I've never watched him play. So I have no basically opinion on it. Villar, I like him, but he's not gonna improve us. And then Gravenberch, I mean, that's from Calcio Mercato. That's basically the news that's circulating. For me, he is the option, the first choice option, if you can get him. But I don't think Ajax are going to let him go mid-season. I just don't see it happening. And then move on to the next piece of news. And I know people say it's Calcio Mercato, but people will buy in the sport media said Luis Alberto, and to be honest, Calcio Mercato is kind of gaining some, how you want to call it, of a better reputation over the last 2 seasons, I would say. It isn't as bad as it used to be. But Calcio Mercato is saying Juve and Genoa are expected to meet in the coming days to discuss Rovella. Juve are seriously considering bringing him in January. In order to convince Genoa, they would like to offer space like Ranocchia. Now, we will talk about it in the podcast. We talked about it yesterday. I will take Rovella back. My fear is that Allegri will say, I'm not going to really play you. Like, you're not going to be the, how do you want to call it, the player I'm going to count on. Like, he's counting on Locatelli. And you will only get one start here, 50 minutes there, 20 minutes there. Then I will say, no, you're stalling his development. Just do it with the players you have. So Rabiot, Betancourt, and just sort it out for the end of the season. Because, and we know the quality of the players are not that good, but it's still good enough to make top 4. And now it's on Allegri to work with these players. If you're going to bring in Rovella and you're not going to play him, that's a bad idea. You're stalling his development. He is suffering under it, and we are not winning anything with it. Not now, not in the future. So this is basically up to Allegri. If you can get Rovella back, and you can get him back without paying, because he is your player, but you agree with Genoa that he needs to stay until the end of the season, just do it. But only if he gets significant playing minutes. If not, just don't do it. Even Rovella, just don't come. Just don't do it. It will not be good for your career. I'm sorry. But that will be a smart move if you can get it for no money. That's saving money, and in the summer you can go again and maybe invest a little bit more, depending on where you finish in the league. But we will talk about it in the podcast. Let me know in the comments. I know people are also a bit on the fence because they are scared Allegri's not going to play him, and that's a big problem. I think the club should make that clear to Allegri that this is the way we're going now. Then we move on to Arthur. So Nicola Shira saying Arthur will leave Juve on loan in January. He has been offered to Sevilla, Roma and Arsenal, who are reflecting on this possible move, but his salary, 6 million euros, is high. Then he said, to be clear, he's not in Allegri's plans. Like, we know that. That's obvious. We are awful in midfield and he's still not playing. His agent came on and said a player with his quality came out. He said a player with his quality should play. And maybe he should play, but not with us because Allegri doesn't like him, so it doesn't make sense. So he needs to leave. I'm kind of fine with it. It's kind of disappointing. I never understood the move in the first place. I mean, financially wise, it makes sense, but just on the field wise, it didn't really make sense. It's not working. It needs to be a loan, and possibly Italy, because he needs to stay on the books, I think, until the end of the year to have some financial, to keep some financial benefits with the transfer, something like that. I'm not going into details, but I think a loan is enough. You need to stay on your books, I'm saying. But 6 million euros, that's big for teams like Sevilla and Roma. That is big. Arsenal can pay that. They can pay the fee even if they want. So let's see how that's gonna work out, because the next piece of news, I will read it out, also involving Arthur, saying he can be included in a swap loan deal with Icardi, because Leonardo, so the sporting director of PSG, he likes him. We knew that, because past summer there were some strong rumors that PSG wanted him, and that Leonardo likes him. So the sporting director, we knew that. Let's see. I don't see it happening with a loan move. It's too complicated. It really doesn't make sense, and it's kind of sad if you're getting Icardi and not Vlahovic. That's just my opinion. But he's gonna leave. That's a reality. Then we move on to Ramsey. So Romeo said he's out, 100%, he's out. Now, how will he leave? Will he leave on a loan? Will he leave definitely on a sale? Will we terminate this contract? At the moment, nobody knows. But what Repubblica is reporting is kind of what we deserve. I mean, I'm not blaming the player. We gave him the money. He has a right on that money. He has a right on that contract. That's his right to demand his wages. So the news is Ramsey and his agents are demanding 7 million euros. That's the yearly wage net to terminate this contract and leave in January. I think the club is like, they don't have an option. Pay the 7 million euros or you're gonna pay the remainder 4 million euros for this season and plus 7 million euros next season, plus bonuses for his agents if he stays another year. So I don't think the club has an option. I said it before, I don't think they're getting a transfer fee for him. This is worst case scenario, paying off. But I don't think the club have any choice in it. Like, they give him the money and the player wants his money. Like, everybody would want his money. I don't blame Ramsey. I don't blame him. People will say, get out. Yeah, he should get out, but we gave him the money. If someone gives you 4-year deal for 7 million euros and then they're telling you need to go, we're not paying you, I think many of us will say, yeah, pay me and I will leave. Give me that and I will leave. So that's on the club. And that happened before with Khedira, with Douglas Costa, all these players. When are we going to learn? That's the question. I hope they learn now. It's Arriva Bene, it's Cherubini. Maybe they learned. Who knows? Locatelli is not on a lot of money, which is kind of surprising. When we got Bernardeschi, he was already on 4.5, almost 5. Locatelli is on just 3. So maybe this is a new club direction. Let's see. But they should be learning from this, because this is, it looks nasty. Then 2 bits of news. Also, this one. So Frattesi, we talked about it. I like him. I think a lot of people like him. He's Italian. That's always a plus. If you're good enough, I think he can be good enough in the future. But I don't think we are really in for him. I think he's going Inter. So the news is Juve, Milan, Inter, Napoli, and Atalanta are interesting for Frattesi. I see Atalanta as a possible destination, and Napoli, I don't think we're really in for him. I don't think he's the main priority. Which is fine. If you can get Rovella back, you have Rovella. You can get a Gravenberch or Zakaria or players like that. I would be fine with that. He's not my priority. So I'm not gonna really, be upset if he goes to Napoli. So yeah, just threw that news in. And then we will end with Cuadrado. So La Stampa is saying Cuadrado will sign a new deal until 23 plus an option until 24. Now, we talked about it. I have nothing against Cuadrado. If he stays, great. But I said 23 should be the max plus an option we can activate. Not the player, we can activate. If that's the case, that's a good deal. I think 23 should be this last year, in my opinion. I think he's already a bit falling off. You will have him next season. People say, even 22 is enough. Maybe. No, 22 is now. I'm sorry. 23 is enough in my opinion. Let's see, because we cannot fill every position, starting position. And he's a good squad player. He is what people think Bernardeschi is, and a squad player. Like, he can play right back, on the wing. He can also play up front in a 3 sometimes. Allegri even played him as an 8 2 times when he did pretty well. I'm not saying playing him as an 8, but he's a utility player. 23 plus an option. I think that's a good deal, considering the many holes we have to fill. I think he shouldn't be the priority to replace at the moment, because we have many other priorities. So if that's the case, that means clubs being smart for once and not just handing out long-term deals without thinking about it, like an Alexandro, and we're stuck with him now. So yeah, that's today's news. Excuse me. As always, like the video and subscribe. Tomorrow podcast, we will talk about Gravenberch, Zakaria. We will go into details and their numbers, playing style. We will take some questions, and then we'll see you in the next one. Ciao.